Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Little Old Luxembourg. We left off right before things got exciting. We were threatening to form the Netherlands, and eventually we're only 20 off of Lotharingia, and of course with our penultimate goal of forming either Germany, or I wouldn't say no to the Holy Roman Empire. Besides that, we of course have a coalition, a minor coalition, lingering in Western Germany, and we're making a play for the Holy Roman Emperorship, though we are down 2 votes in this episode. Besides conquest and expansion, of course, as always, it's EU5. This is what you come here for. I also want to hyper-urbanize the Rhine and make this just a beautiful parking lot. Either way, I will let you know when something interesting is happening. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, Editor Brown Dog, just very briefly cutting in here, just to remind you, I am streaming on Tuesdays from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. GMT, so stop by on twitch.tv/browndog2 to come have a peek. As well, if you could saunter on down below to the sub button, we're currently at 680 subs and are trying to get to 1,000 as soon as possible. While you're down there too, if you could throw down a like and a comment. Otherwise, thank you very much for your eyes, ears, and time. I hope you enjoy the episode. Not the most exciting thing to start off, but we can actually start laying down polders. They're just a fantastic building. Oh, actually, follow-up point while we're on this. Of course, we are playing as the Walloons, or Walloon primary culture, which is remarkable for a couple reasons. We are in the culture group of the Netherlandish, the French, and the German. However, we are primary language French as opposed to being primary language German. We're essentially a mess of this part of Europe. We've managed to steal up to 3 votes for the emperorship, though we're still waiting on either flipping Brandenburg back over or the Platinum of Rhine. I'm learning very quickly that prestige is everything when it comes to the emperorship, which I guess makes sense. And just like that, we're up to 4. So if we can hold the stranglehold just until the 52-year-old emperor dies, we'll get it. I'd like to shore it up, maybe flip the Rhine or Saxon-Wittenberg, but either way. You know, I just realized this must be one of the first times where I've actually seen the 100 Years' War go on for the full proper 100 years. And the only reason it's taken this long is because France is being slow as balls. We're just going to take a quick pop into, who are you? Mark, to seize the city of Alterna. You know, on the one hand, I am glad that the AI is using mercenaries. On the other hand, they may be using them just a smidgen too much. Well, I don't know. If I present that much of an overwhelming force, they certainly have a right to spam them out, but it's really expensive on belaboring their little economies, especially when we're doing limited wars. Cool, and without really spilling too much blood, we're just here to steal the single city. And just like that, we've stolen 30,000 pops. Again, not the biggest win. Certainly, I mean, it's a city. That's like 1,000 ducats in and of itself. Let's lay down a town in Bitburg and Witteluk, and just start urbanizing along here, where we have decent control along the river. One thing I'm going to do, and this is certainly going to piss off my nobility, it might cause a civil war, is I'm going to revoke their fortification licenses. Not nearly as expensive as it could be. I'm doing quite good in keeping my states in check, actually, but that should weaken them substantially. We also can start laying down probably my second favorite building in the game, sweet, sweet Pound Lock Canals. So hopefully that will just amplify Cologne's ability to push it. And of course, as we start to urbanize the Rhine, lay down more of these, it's like double stacking bridges. It's just tasty. Just to show that we are winning the race for the emperorship, I've managed to flip 5, almost 6 of the electors. Heck, even Cologne, who hates my guts, is almost convinced that I'm a good guy to vote for. Unless anything goes terribly wrong, our emperorship is all but guaranteed. This guy is 60 anyway, so he should be kicking the bucket sometime soon. Alrighty, now for a war that we should absolutely sweep, no questions asked. It's going to be us going in on France, not France, England. I'm gonna go in. The goal is to seize these 3 provinces. Otherwise, if I get war reps from England, I'll be very happy. But this is a war that France is going to fight and win for me. So let's just kick it off. Real quick, easy, beautiful war. I don't want to push England too much harder because, again, I do need counterbalances to France when they inevitably come to try and kill me. So I'm just going to get war reps from England and the 3 provinces I came from. Really quick 6-month-long war. Good money. We get a lot of prestige because apparently that was an imperial reconquest. The English money will be flooding in 9 ducats a month. That's awesome. And we can start integrating our provinces right away. And also, hopefully, the French don't want to kill me any more than they already did. France is calling us to war against the Emperor again. How big is this war? And we're, of course, right on the doorstep. France is decking on Bouillon, which I'm assuming got made into a free city. I think I'm going to take France up on this, even though it's dragging me to war against everybody I don't want to go to war with. Does it look like Bohemia has a chance in hell of winning this? No, France outnumbers them 2-1, even with all that. So I'm going to join France because I don't want to die. And I'm going to try and steal Zealand and bullion for myself, hopefully. Hey, okay, so because I sieged it down, I actually managed to block France from taking anything. That war went... Oh, no, it isn't over. They just pieced out Zealand, which France gave to me. Okay, cool. Yeah, beautiful. And just like that, the war is over. Quite bloody. France gets their little piece of land. I get to take Middelburg. Frankly, I'm happy with that. It just gives us more control over the Dutch land. I'm only missing 2 provinces to form the Netherlands now. Seeing as my nobles are going to revolt either way, I'm also just gonna revoke the right to inherit. As nice as the 40% stability investment efficiency is, I'm not paying to invest in my stability, so I'm not getting any of the benefit, and it's just giving me progress aristocracy. I'm ambivalent too, but I would like my aristocracy to be lower, so I'm gonna keep breaking the ankles of my nobles. So right to inheritance can go. Alrighty, we're also going to deck on Utrecht, I want to take essentially this, I don't know what this is called, east of the Zundere Zee, forgive my Dutch, if only it was a real language. It'll be a limited war, I don't want to get into too hot and deep with Münster and Onzenbroek, so I'm going to call France in, and I'm going to take basically as much as my antagonism allows. The land in the HRE is getting already stupidly expensive. These 2 provinces are going to cost me 40 antagonism. And because I'm still vying for the electorship, I'm very sensitive to antagonism. I'll have to settle for just 80 ducats, war reps, and 2 tiles. Very easy to get, though. It was essentially just one big battle, and I instantly won, so I should get most of that. And, of course, the income, which is very nice. And, yes, we can already go and form the Netherlands. This is going to be one of the more disgusting Netherlands I've ever formed. That is certainly a wonderful shade of orange. More importantly, we are like a weird blotch on the map with, I guess we have some of what would have been Belgium and a little bit over here, but really we're mostly just Germany. And our population reflects that too. We are, okay, actually we're majority Dutch, then Walloon, which are also Dutch. So I guess, yeah, we're the Netherlands sans Netherlands. This give us anything actually unique? No, I think it's mostly the map color and... Any unique events? Yes, we do actually get unique events now, as opposed to Luxembourg, which was barren. And we can still form up. Yes, we can still form Lotharingia, and eventually our end goal. Cool, fun, interesting. So I was just scrolling around the Holy Roman Empire and looking at a bunch of buttons, and apparently there's a button where you can request being a kingdom title. You need to be a specific kingdom, Italy, Burgundy, Lotharingia, or Bohemia, but if you can pay the toll, which I believe is how much? Does it say? I think it's like $100, then you can become a kingdom or request the kingdom. We just need to be the kingdom of Lotharingia, own most of the kingdom of Lotharingia, and would be upgraded to a kingdom instead of just being stuck at a duchy, which is fun. Yes, there it is. Welcome not just to the Duchy of the Netherlands, no, the Duke, when's class? The Luxembourg is the new Holy Roman Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. And just like that, we get the imperial coronation. We have ascended the throne of the HRE with our coronation. We have also come to the possession of the imperial regalia, which will be sign of our legitimate rulership. So we get a bunch of fancy artwork, and I can start to do imperial interactions. Alrighty, either way, because we're the emperor now, I imagine we get a handful of other buffs, and I can finally start building up a proper army. Fun. And immediately we also get the Hussite rebellion in Bohemia. We're gonna lose a bunch of imperial authority. Thank you, Mr. Huss. Oh, and also, wait, are we considered an emperor or no? Okay, but we do get the free guy. And if nothing else, we just can't get hit with those negative demand unlawful territory anymore. Cool, and we immediately get the Hussite Wars event. Yep, I was expecting this. The rise of Hussitism has pushed Bohemia to become the pariah of the Catholic world. It teeters on the brink. We need to... Poland will probably join them. I can probably get France in. During war, we can eradicate Hussitism through the forced convert and suppress Hussitism peace treaties and bring an end to the Hussite wars. So if I deck this, I'll take a massive stab hit because I think Bohemia and I are good friends. And nobody else will want to join. Because France has a treaty. Austria doesn't want to join on this war. Interesting. Poland felt the need to give me a guarantee, which is probably got something to do either with Bohemia. Yeah, it's got to do with Bohemia. The great urbanization of the Rhine begins, mostly focusing in around Cologne and, well, the stretch between Cologne and Luxembourg. I did not realize that by keeping my Diplo spending so high, I was essentially wearing ankle weights. I've, started making 50 ducats more, and I essentially just keep on coming over to my goods production, going OpenRGO Builder, and mass expanding everything. Once I kind of finish things here to expand consistently, I think I'm going to upgrade Antwerp to a city, and I want to set down a local governor here. This entire region has very good control relative, right? There's a lot of nice rivers running through, but, we're not short of places to drop control, so I may as well put one down there. Even Cologne, which technically is only starting at 80% from the local governor, is getting up to 91% due to proximity. Oh, wow. Well, being a city, Christian holy site, I can also probably start putting down local councils, and I could get places really close to 100. Not quite, but really close to. Alrighty, so we're going to go in on Limburg, finally clean them up, and probably steal a little bit of land off of Brabant as well. This one, not going to be the most land exchangey war ever. It's more about cleaning up borders, because this little dot is just, it's so ugly. Even just trying to clean up Brabant here results in an insane amount of aggressive expansion. So for example, if I was to try and pick it all up, which for reference is only 37 war score peace offer value, it would result in a coalition from Brabant and essentially all of Western Germany, basically this much, and everybody else would be incredibly annoyed. Now, they are just a member of, or a byproduct of the war, so it might, even though they were forced to join, Brabant was forced to join because this is a PU, so they might have the raised AE cost for being a, not the direct target of the war. That's still very expensive. As such, I really just want the, I would like to clean up Antwerp and everything, but I'd rather block off other countries from getting to them more than that, especially the French doodle right here. So we're just going to take Brabant for the 2 tiles, 100 ducats, and war reps, and let them go. Luckily, that keeps Limburg in the war, where we're just going to take the province of Limburg, which is not even a town. It's just a rural location with 30,000 people, and it's said to cost 20 aggressive expansion. That's a real 20 AE, because I'm going to end up with a minor coalition after this. But people are feeling somewhere between 10 to 15 if they were going to continue existing. Germany's going to be a long walk, but still, our borders look much better. Once we actually eat this little Loon Brabant Gelder's pocket right here, we'll really start looking like a country, and we can lay down the true city of Antwerp, although actually I probably should make Luxembourg a city first, right? As much as I want to make Antwerp a city, Luxembourg would be better. It has 70,000 people and could really use that expansion to its tooling industry. Luxembourg will make me money, and then I can bring up Antwerp. At this rate, man, Luxembourg is just really growing. We're a popular spot. Biggest city in the empire? Or, well, biggest city in our land, certainly. 70,000 pops? Where does that stand compared to Prague? 90,000 in Prague. We're actually doing... Wait a second. 60,000 in Vienna. Okay, 181,000 in Paris. There we go. Only 30,000 in London. Where's the Spanish capital? 60,000 Valladolid. So we're doing Oh my god, 200,000 enables. All right, we're doing okay for capital population. Definitely could stack it a bit further. We're doing a trequel. I honestly, how many 100 Years wars have there been at this point? France, you really got to kick England off the continent. Just go and clear off Aquitaine. It's gone on longer than it needs to. And now we can lay down or found the city of Antwerp, just as it was meant to be. It really doesn't take that long when you go and beg France for 1,000 ducats to save up to 1,000. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Castile, integrate province. Everything's been integrated. More importantly, the Italian wars have kicked off. What does this actually mean for us? We're not doing much in Italy. I'm not gonna lie. I have very little interest in getting too deep in there. And France has finally ended the 100 Years' War in 1458, properly actually taking 100 years. How impressive. Also, fantastically, France has decided that they want to take part of Wales for themselves, so they've taken something right by Cardiff, as well as March and Renwick for themselves. No, only March as a vassal. Renwick just has that color of blue. Thank you, France. Oh, oh, oh. Oh. Oh no, it's happened. I was really, really concerned when this would happen. So France is coming into the Empire. Uh, I thought that maybe by me being their ally, they wouldn't do it. Maybe that was just wishful thinking, but I've essentially given France a blank check to do what they want into the HRE. I'm sorry, Savoy, if I join that war, I die. Who are your allies? Austria? And who else? Right? Do I have any allies that I would consider strong enough? Can I get any allies really quick? Denmark might. 20,000, 29,000, 5,000, 25,000. Like, yeah, but it's not enough. Nobody else would come to... Oh, and then there's my defensive league. Anybody else I can invite to the defensive league? Brunswick. Okay, let me... 1 second. We pull in Brunswick, we pull in Lüneburg. Right? Sure. Welcome to the league. We ally Denmark. Of course, I'm sitting at too many relations. Denmark, brief alliance. Thanks, dude. So if I join Savoy, because Savoy's in the Holy Roman Empire, right? Yes, yes they are. Their capital's in the HRE. Yes, they are. I accept. Treaty's honored. Okay, all of my allies joined. Poland joined. How big is this war? There's a chance this is going to be a bloodbath, and I think we lose this. But we're certainly going to go down fighting. This is probably the best chance I'm going to have at the moment. What I also desperately need to do... Oh, I can call in my other allies from the Defensive League, which we will happily do. Every single body matters here. After this war, I desperately need to either ally Castile, possibly Poland, and try and contain the French menace. I feel like the Austrians, I feel like the Habsburgs, where it's like, oh my god, France is trying to extinguish me. This is it, boy, everybody gather in Cologne. This is the war for the soul of the empire. And if we will be speaking French... Wait, that doesn't work. I speak French too. That doesn't work. Okay, shoot. But, this is a war to see if we'll be speaking France, Parisian French, or if we will in fact be speaking Walloon French. Now, technically, this number, very quickly, we've learned, can mean nothing, but we do outnumber France by about 100,000. The problem is the French have one entire professional army where we have not. And the French can, see everything and act independently. But we do essentially have one unified front, which is very nice. Hopefully that confuses the AI. In fact, We have one unified front and technically land connection running all the way out to Poland. Aren't we cute? Take a minute to breathe and reevaluate. We've already lost 100,000 people. This is not going well. Saluzzo calls upon us to join them in war against Castile. Castile, brother, how are you even gonna... No. I'm busy fighting France. I can only fight the second great power in the world at a time, not the second and the third. March those, try and save that battle. Oh, the professional army's coming too. This is gonna hurt. Is that at least a good tile to defend in? No, it's probably the best tile to be attacked in that we could ask for. That's why we're gonna... Are the Austrians coming? No. No, we're marching into our death. No? Okay, they called it off. That's a lot of Frenchmen. Oh, Poles. Okay, well, are the Poles going in? No. The Austrians are going in, so we gotta back up the Austrians, though. This fight is going to happen. We're going to charge south. Allow attach. Go, 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 go. Oh my gosh, that fight was over before it started, and I'm running headfirst into a slaughter against French professionals. The Polish are never going to make it here on time. We're gone. This is it. Yeah, I just fed my troops into a wood chipper. There was never a chance. Yeah, and just like that, France has managed to completely destroy the opposing forces, and they still have essentially everybody. So the next time I choose to draw against France, I need to make sure I have a professional army and almost double their standing army before I feel comfortable doing that, because this wasn't a fight. We were lambs to the slaughter. I'm going to step away from this war. I did what I could. I tried. I'm going to just dissolve my league in the Italian Wars because I wasn't going to partake in it anyway. Try desperately to get somebody like Spain on board, because with Castile, maybe. If Bohemia was in the middle of their Hussitism, I'd be willing to work with them too. You know, I'm starting to think that me getting the emperorship might not have been the best thing for the emperor. Or the empire. Maybe I should have left Bohemia or Austria in actual control of it, because I don't have the strength to defend it, but I have it now, so it's my cross to bear. Okay, so I have a truce for 10 years with France, and I basically have that amount of time to figure out what the heck I'm doing before France comes and touches me. And I need friends bad. The very beginnings of the Netherlands professional army. Whole 3,000 men-at-arms. Look at that. Look at them go. Truly the terror of Germany. We're also immediately going to deck on Sponheim. He has some very minor allies with humiliate rival CB. And the new army takes the field against the enemy, and despite being a little bit bloodier than it need to be, we blow them out. Alrighty then, give me your 2 provinces, your land. How bad is this coalition? No coalition. Fantastic. Get off my property. Alright, thankfully Castile is willing to take me up on an alliance. That puts me slightly over my limit. If I could get one more country, just something to act as a balance to whatever this horrific blue blob is going to do, I would feel a lot better. Also, culturally, just as a quick update, we've really done a good job pushing Walloon into the Rhineland. You can see basically all of the Mosel Franconians, and the majority of the Ripuarian Franconians have been Walloonified. On that note, I'm actually going to de-accept Ripuarian Franconian. It's still a little expensive for me to do that, but I am going to full-on accept Rhine Franconian, mostly because we have this space too, and that's the next lot of land that we're moving into, and there's a lot of them. Like, Lower Franconian, Walloon, Rhine Franconian, we can all kind of get on with. Maybe as I move north, I'm not sure if the Frisians are quite up to the Walloonian snuff, but, you know, the choices we have to make. Oh boy, it's happening again already. It's already too soon, and it's happening again. France is going in on who? Saluzzo? So if I look at what that looks like, France is already fighting two Sicilies. If I get this wrong, France eats my land. But we do have the backing of two Sicilies, who's roughly as strong as France. You know what? Sure. And Castile came in, and mostly everyone else came in. We're going for the second Great France War. The War of the Second Coalition. You know what? We're not that far off. All right, well, let's take our new hastily founded army out for a test and see if it's enough to beat up some random mercenaries. Certainly bloody, but I like those numbers a lot more than I like the last wars. All the same, we're essentially buying time and being a distraction for the Spanish and the two Sicilies here. Hopefully, you know, mind you, we're nothing ourselves. Poland brings a lot to bear, Denmark brings a lot to bear, and France is weaker than it was before, but they've... I say that, I'm not sure I believe it. It's only been 3 years since the last coalition war, though, so hopefully... Hopefully. At a glance, again, we outnumber France more than 2-1 this time. Will that matter? Based on the fact we're already taking 2-1 losses? Probably not. I think it's good that I need to team up with like half of Europe to beat up France. But I also I wish I could do more. I would really appreciate if I had some player agency in beating up France. What's horrifying is while at war, France's economy is only growing. Where like this really stunts mine. So I don't know what to make of that. But the fact that the French economy is not slowing down while having most of it conscripted, I honestly believe France is beaten back to a point where it will not be able to take land from Saluzzo. And like I've done my job there. But also if I stay in here, I'm just acting as one big target. As such, and there's other things that I want to do besides just be at war with France. As such, I'm going to step off of this fort and safely into my own land, accept the offer to, and essentially offer France just a white peace, unless they're willing to give me money. They would, I just don't have enough. That's horrific. So this is a much better peace deal than the one that forced us to disillusion. Okay, well that's a little ambitious. The glory to the Holy Roman Empire. But I believe that this war, genuinely, France will be forced to peace out of. I just cannot be in it anymore. It's too expensive to too little gain. We've lost half of our forces. France has lost more than half. We should win. Now, on that note, I'm going to disband my levies, give my soldiers a moment to breathe, and then immediately go in on Lune to take more land. Because I just realized I'm really only 15 provinces away from forming Lothringia. And once I do that, I can get a kingdom, which comes with another free governor, and my control over my country will just rise even more, and I can really wring out every last red penny. But at the end of the second anti-France coalition, we've beaten them down to essentially a white peace, where the first one was a total rout. So if we track where we are on the coalition scale, I'd say the next one should be an absolute bombastic win. Okay, and despite the fact it will be a 20 stability hit, which kind of hurts, we're going to go on Lune as soon as my diplomat gets back. Just like that, we're going to deck. It's going to bring us slightly negative, but that's fine. My troops are right here, ready to march in. Everybody else we will raise up and do some cleanup. From Brabant, I will take this one province, make them a little enclave, humiliate them, get war reps and 100 ducats. And from from Lune, since I really cannot afford to be so passive anymore with the French menace on my border, I will take or full annex them and take all of their money. That makes my antagonism look something like this, which is realistically more than I want. Like, I don't want to be having a coalition form on my east flank while France is on my west, but I do need to be able to counterweight the French monster happening to my left. I can repay all my loans with that, and after this tech, I have a local governor coming in that I plan on dropping in Antwerp. Did somebody say round 3? That's right, round 3. So France is now going in on Provence. You know what? Nah, we're doing it anyway. We gotta oppose the French at every step. And this is it. The third, count it, third French coalition immediately after the last. I wonder if the French are getting tired of me endlessly joining wars against them, because compared to how large of a country I am, I think I do more damage than they want, but I really can't do anything to them. I'm a fucking really annoying speed bump that they just can't get through, but their economy does not care. And this is slowing down my economy. I'm really not sure if any of this was worth it. Yeah, so this was my slight concern with laying down a bunch of forts. The French are essentially just coming and carpet sieging them, which, that's good, right? They're not actually taking the provinces. It's just, it's going to be really hard for me to take back because they outnumber me quite significantly. Not that this is particularly relevant to the current situation, but we're going to lay down our new local governor in Antwerp, which, how is our control? Honestly, it's not that necessary, but it's the only place in the country where we have really poor control, and it'll raise our average up to being like a nice 40 all over the place. Okay, that war was not nearly as exciting, but we fought France to a white peace again. It hurts every time. It hurts so bad, but we're doing the job of the Holy Roman Empire. Unfortunately, it's thankless and expensive work. Brother, what? What's happening? Why are we doing this? Who am I going to war with? I'm at war with England. England? Just finish your third war with France. Go into your first war with England. England, what do you actually want? You want Mons? No! Call everybody up again. That broke my alliance with Spain, too. You suck, Castile. Seriously? Yeah, because you're too busy sucking off two Sicilies. No, you're buddy-buddy with England. Are you at war with me? No. Okay, England, I gotta wrap this up fast, because I got people to be friends with, and I want to be friends with you. I want your help in beating up the French. I would happily give you more of northern France, but you cannot have the Netherlands. Do you think the Poles are regretting giving me the guarantee, considering I've just pulled them into war after war after war? Either way, this war is essentially going to be nothing but me standing here and killing people as they step off the boat as to not allow the English to get a landing. If I'm lucky, I'll get enough war goal or war score eventually to get a lot of money off the English. But I really don't want to sit around for too long, as the French are coming, and I don't have time for England. There it is. I was wondering when the double whammy was going to come. And the boot drops. This is France going in on the county of Siva, which is right next to Genoa. You are allied to absolutely no one important. France still has 70,000. Their economy is still scaling way faster than mine is. All right. Well, now I did just find something that might help besides obviously all of my treaties. Okay. Well, Poland isn't coming into this one. Fair enough, man. I think you're tired. But I did find something that might help, which is I can call circles to war, as well as bolster the Imperial Army, which involves dipping into the Imperial Treasury to essentially call all entire Imperial circles to war. Yeah, let's throw the light purple circle at them. So to do that, I believe I just have to go to Overview, call circle to war, click on Glacial to the France Civil War, and this will call up all of them. Oh, yeah, I'd say that worked. So that... All right, France. Now we're truly getting Germany together just to go and kick your ass. Can I only do that once? I'd imagine so. And that doesn't actually hurt the treasury that bad. Now, if I also wanted to, I can bolster the Imperial Army by... like, I could spend 1,000 ducats essentially to bribe Provence to join this war, which if it gets desperate, I still might do. If you don't see many clips from this part, understand it's because by having this on my screen, my game moves at a crawl. But that's a hot mess of flags. That's disgusting. So I'm going to go not look at that. And yeah, my game's still moving slow. Alrighty, I have possibly a very stupid, but what could pay out very well gamble. See, I think I'm going to deck on Utrecht while the England and the France war ongoing. Yes, I know. And if I can take these 5 provinces here and 5 provinces from Gelders, then I would be able to form Lotharingia. Wait a second. Yes, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And... Wait, you're kidding me. Is there not enough? 1, 2, 3, 4. And up north there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would need 1 more province. That sucks. Okay. Well, I could get 9, and then I'd be at 60, or I'd be at 74 out of 75. And then I would just need literally 1 more province. Oh, if I could get England off my back, too. Cool. I'll white peace England. France would let me walk away from this disaster of a war by only paying out 1,000 ducats. Man, it's loans, and I really don't want to have to take them. But I need more time. I can't win that fight. France keeps getting stronger. I can't stop them. I'm losing it. Bohemia, give me an alliance. Are you Catholic? No, you're still Hussite. You know, I don't care if you're Hussite. There's bigger issues in the world than your religion. Wow, actually, with my alliance block, I've basically just made, like, I roughly remade the Habsburg Empire. I got Austria, Bohemia, Hungary, and the Low Countries. If I could get Castile back, we'd basically be, peak Habsburg in alliance form. You know, I don't know exactly when I got access to threaten war. It's probably when I became the Emperor of the HRE, but I can now start threatening countries around me for their provinces instead of needing to use the Parliament-approved claims. So we're going to threaten Utrecht for Zwolle. They're, of course, going to say no. On the month tick, I will use my favors to call Bohemia into the war. Yeah, so I'm going to take the 4 provinces from Gelders, war reps, and 4 maps, apparently, that they have of the Atlantic. So let's just see what that looks like. Wow, ocean. Wonderful. Now then, how bad is the coalition from that? Honestly, it's fine, because all of their troops have already been fed to the wood chipper. That is the French front. From Utrecht itself, I'm going to take those 5 provinces and all of their money. They have no other provinces in this war that they could give me that would help with Lotharingia. None at all. That's so unfortunate. I just need 1 more. 1 more would do it, but I gotta go south. I have to take land off of France or further in the HRE. Alrighty, well, thank you, Utrecht. You've been an absolute gem. Give me all of that, all of your money. Fine, Münster, you get to keep your fort. And the final coalition is a little bit bigger than intended. I'm gonna crank up my Diplo spending and hopefully be able to talk down most of these guys. I just need 1 more single location to get away with it, so I'm gonna just really try to bring people on board. Oh god, we're doing this again already? I haven't even had, like, 2 months to deal with the coalition fermenting at my back. Who are we decking on? Saluzzo, again. Impressive. Hungary, are you likely to join? Probably. Bohemia? You ready to go punch down on a Frenchman? Please join. Treaty's honored. Treaty's honored. Yes, Hungary's in. Yes, Bohemia's in. Okay. I think, for once, we might actually have them dead to rights. Like, there's no sliding that. I don't have an army, but what I do have is, okay, I have a very small army that I'm going to go send to siege down the French's holding in the lowlands. What I do have, though, is some of the largest land forces in Europe fighting France. The only way this could be better is if I had Castile on board, too. So again, now that we're all set up, we outnumber them friggin' more than 3-1. Will that actually matter against the French? It hasn't before. So why should it now? I think this is the third or fourth French coalition, but really, it's anybody's question. Oh, Bohemia, you're going in there. Okay, I'll back you up, but I don't think this is gonna go well. Holy jeez. We actually slaughtered them. Like the dogs that they are. There's a so you're saying there's a chance. Bohemia, I'm going to let you off your leash. I'm going to go and siege things down on my border. And, good luck. Instead of putting down Bohemia for the Hussite Wars, we've brought the Hussite Wars to Bohemia? I don't know, man. I'm allied. I'm allied with Bohemia, who are Hussites, and we're beating up France. It's a mess. I'll overlook heretics, but I can't overlook them being French. And we just got ourselves a new gov reform. What will we do? Agricultural cultivation is an easy one to slot in. Diplomatic capacity is always good. I'm currently to the moon on my diplomatic capacity, and it makes us more conciliatory, sure. See, I really did figure we had a chance in this war. Oh my god, wait a second. Is France out of troops? I thought that it was going a lot more poorly than it was. France is broken. I'm pretty well broken too. Bohemia still has men standing. Hungary has not contributed at all. Last I checked, his troops were still standing on Budapest. Now they've done the sensible thing and moved down to standing in Bosnia. Thank you, Hungary. But it seems like we have beaten the French down. The French are out of troops. They're done. They're busted. This is it. So long as Saluzzo doesn't like tap out randomly, we've got him on the ropes. Yeah, France is broken. It took so many wars. I think this is the fifth one. Their economy has not stopped. Their population has dipped a little bit, but I think that's more from the diseases that just don't stop spawning out of the Dutch swamps. And we've finally slowed the juggernaut. What did it take? I don't know how many of my men I have fed to the French, but it took a lot. I can say that with absolute certainty. But I think finally I might get something out of it. So Luzo has decided to peace out with France. They have taken war reps, annulled all treaties with Scotland, and taken almost 6,000 ducats. Most of that probably went to Bohemia. I didn't see a cent, really. More importantly, France was beaten. Emphatically, unavoidably, they were taken and stopped. We marked the line. They have a truce with 131 countries. Alrighty, and away we go with Humiliate Rival CB, probably for like the last time actually using the Humiliate Rival CB to take land on Spongheim. Such a good name, such a fun name. And just like that, really easy war, we're just going to take their province and send them on their way. And perhaps most importantly, we can now form the Kingdom of Lotharingia. As the new claimants to the Lotharingian crown, we confirmed our legitimacy by appealing to the legacy of King Charles the Great Caroling and King Lothar II Caroling. Under our patronage, the exploits of our ancestors have once again become common knowledge, both among our own people and throughout courts of Europe. Just like that, we form Lotharingia with a much more tame blue color. I do enjoy this more than the Dutch orange, as iconic as it is. More importantly than that, if we go to the Holy Roman Empire now, we should be able to request I thought we would be able to make ourselves a kingdom. Oh well, if I can't, I can't. I really thought that I could, though. Weird. I thought that you could ascend yourself to a kingdom if you were one of the historical precedents. Maybe they won't let you do it while you're the active Holy Roman Empire. Uh, but, you know, say la vie. We are Lotharingia. It comes with different content than the Dutch. No, reskinned content than the Dutch. Yes. Hey, look at us. We're blue now. Actually, that's going to be really annoying when we go to war with France. But we're blue. Tell you what, it's probably not the best choice I can make, especially because I am hovering a decently sized coalition. But I need the land more than they do, so I'm going to threaten Frisia for their capital of Grins. And they stand alone, because they're a peasant republic, I believe. Yep, with very few men. So we should pretty well be able to go north, and we probably won't be able to full annex them, but certainly give them a world of hurt. We're already back to it? Really, man? I haven't even, it's only been 3 years. What the hell, man? I was supposed to have some more time to, Oh, okay. Well, here we go. Denmark, Austria, Hungary, Bohemia. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? This is it. The war of the 5th, 6th French coalition. In fact, France, you know what? Nah. I'm mobilizing the entire Imperial Circle against you too. Everybody's getting in on this one. We're even going to loot the Imperial Treasury to bolster the Imperial Army and pull in... Who has the biggest armed forces? Savoy? Here you go, Savoy. Go and kill France. What do the odds look like? 120,000 French, 350,000 everybody else. Alrighty, as we roll into the absolute cluster that is this French war, I'm just going to loot half of Friesland. I'm going to leave them with this little nubbin of actual Friesland. You know, when you manage to get this much of Europe to beat up France, all of a sudden, it really isn't that hard to go and burn down Paris. Funny how that is. But, you know, wait, why do you have treaties with Castile? What? You don't have an alliance? No, you're rivaled. Okay, I don't care. But yeah, no. All it takes is getting Hungary, Bohemia, to Sicily, Meissen, Upper Bavaria, Lower Bavaria, Left Thuringia, Austria, Provence, Salzburg, Henne, Ansbach, Savoy, Thuringia, Hohenzollern, Erfurt, Denmark, Passau, Weimar, Schwarzburg, Regensburg, Saarbrücken, Bamberg, Naumburg, Leipzigsburg, Grashau, Waldsassen, Ninsa, Schwarzbach-Hall, Rothenburg, Gera, Weichenberg, Freisig, Nuremberg, Würzburg, Thüringen, Sondershausen, Plauen, Meersburg, Mansfield, Gleichen. You know, that's all it takes. It's a really simple list to assemble, not counting all the vassals, because I'm not reading through all the vassals on top of that. And if you do all of that, you too can beat up France. You can muster 6 times their army in size and about double their population and beat the piss out of them. Thanks, France. Ladies and gentlemen, we got them. Paris has fallen. And upon the siege of Paris, which was a very fortunate 14% siege, we have managed to steal the works of art, of course. Ugliana, beautiful. The Lamentation for Tree, Confusing Jasmine, The Lamentation for Swan, The Majestic Country, Ode to Time, Intriguing Titan, and Horrendous Sandcastle, which is apparently locally well known. Alrighty, so we did win the war. What happened there? We had foreseen our victory long before that. Provence took a lot of land for itself. A lot of land. Ooh, you know what? I'm okay with that. So long as it's not going to France, I'm happy with it. Do you have cores on that, or no? How bad was the antagonism on that, Provence? Actually, not that bad at all. Nobody seemed to care. But that should give France a bloody nose and hopefully make them think about what they're doing. how many pops did you gain out of that? You went from 500,000 all the way up to 900,000. So we took 500,000 pops off of France. Good start. That is really funny. You see, because I allied Bohemia as protection from France. Despite the righteousness of her cause, the followers of Hussitism have prevailed in Prague. The Bohemia emerges from this conflict emboldened, their heretical faith recognized by all. We must accept this bitter peace and seek another path to restore unity of Catholicism. Together for victory, we gain 20 stab. Is that 20 stab because we lost? That seems wrong. Something isn't right there. Either way, I was allied to Bohemia, but I never triggered any Hussite wars because I had bigger, bluer fish to fry to my flank. You know, I'm gonna try something possibly a little silly. Because I can't move up to being a kingdom rank, due to whatever restrictions, mainly because I am in the Holy Roman Empire, is why I have the cannot become a kingdom. I did have the ability to get it if I fit the specific tag, that being Lotharingia. It's just I apparently lose access to that interaction while being the emperor, because you can request the emperor to give you permission to have a kingdom tag. Either way, because I've lost access to that elevation option, I am stuck from getting an extra local governor. I was expecting to get 4. I'm limited to 3 until I get one later in the tech tree. As such, I'm trying to figure out where I want to do control, because my intent was to have 1 in Antwerp, 1 in Cologne, my capital in Luxembourg, and then another local governor all the way up in Frisia. Obviously, that's not going to play out. So I could try moving my capital from Luxembourg over to Cologne, and then the governor back up, and I would still get good control down to here, but unfortunately I would be losing like all of the near perfect control I have down in Metz. What does the population look like? Luxembourg has 50,000, Cologne has 30,000. The population out here really isn't that good yet, but it will get much better once I have Utrecht. I guess the other thing is that I could take something like Utrecht and use that to radiate control down the coast. But even still, like I would need 1, 2, 3, 4. I think for the time being, I will have to give up my local governor in Cologne and put it in, oh, that's a fun place, Groningen, and I'll basically see what ends up happening, and eventually probably move it back when I get another one. I'm sorry, Cologne. It's with a heavy heart, but you've lost your governorship. It's going up to the Frisians. Yeah, in a best case, what I would do is I would have Utrecht and be able to push control kind of decently both ways, and then I can have 1 for Germany. And my capital, I like keeping it in Luxembourg. It's obviously, it adheres to our heritage. Since we no longer are Luxembourg, I guess we could move it away quite safely, without being questionable, up to like Aachen and use it as an administrative city. Because really, Luxembourg is missing half of its entire push because we really can't get south. But it is on a river. That's tough. I don't know what to do. And then, of course, another thing I want to do, and this is just talking for future-proofing, I essentially want to build up all of the towns along the Rhine, and thank you for somebody who told me this, I believe it was the Moselle River, forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but the river that flows through my capital as well as the Rhine, and fill that full of pound block canals, more or less, on top of just packing the entire Rhineland full of urban locations, which, as you can see, we've already started to make a good parking lot full of towns. We're definitely ahead of most of Europe in urbanizing, and the rest of the world, I'd argue, just as the Dutch are supposed to be. Here we go! 7th? 6th War of the Anti-French 6, 7. War of the Anti-French Coalition? Right. Well, here we go. Treaties honored. Hungary broke my alliance. Holland is in. You're in. Württemberg, treaties honored. Is that Bohemia that broke their treaty? Please don't be Bohemia that broke their treaty. Austria's alliance broken with Austria. Alliance broken with Bohemia. Oh no. This isn't the big response I was expecting. Most of my allies just broke their alliance. I'm not sure we can beat France without my big pile of allies, but I certainly am gonna have to try. Lads, it's time for war once more. You know it, you love it. I really can't overstate how many times this essentially just is a continental war between most of Germany and France. It's ranged everywhere from literally all of Western Europe to just a hot mess. Truthfully. But we do what we can. And I've called up an Imperial Circle, so hopefully they are able to get in there and do what needs to be done. Damn. Alright, well, seems like Savoy threw in the towel before the reinforcements really got in. And I think they gave away some of my land here. Epinal. No. Mavillon. No. Ath. Yep, they gave away that. They gave away Neufchâteau as well. Not crippling, but you know, like, that's 12,000 pops, that's 16,000 pops. And it's not that I can't exist without them, it's that it's being given to the French. Although that does leave me with cores to use against the French in the future. This is gonna sound stupid, but I think I need to lose the emperorship. Because I cannot defend the empire. To be fair, can Austria do it any better than I'm doing? No. Actually, what the hell happened to you? No, almost certainly not, huh? I'm kind of the best guy for the job if it can't be Bohemia. I wish I could get the Holy Roman Emperor to have teeth, but we don't have any imperial authority. Finale, I'm sorry. But I can't. It would be sewer slide. I can't help here. There's nothing for me to help with. It would just lead to my death. I don't even know where you are. I'm sorry. Hopefully, is that what? Yeah, that's what's throwing my trust into the dirt, I think. Apparently the Ottomans don't even trust me to die right. I imagine that the refusing a call to arms has to be it. But, like, what's my alternative? Fight France? They have 100,000 troops. I have 30,000 on a good day. I need a chance for my levies to come back. I can't fight France every time. Heck, I haven't even been able to get my allies back. They still are leaving me out to hang. Partially because my trust is shit, because people keep calling on me. So I have no choice but to let France expand. The only thing keeping me afloat is this really weird defensive league that I just keep expanding. Because I'm kind of like, well, if the defensive league is literally all of Germany, France can't deck on us. We just can't do anything. Like, that's a mess of a defensive league. And we're just going to take a quick pop into the bishopric of Pays missing, because he's missing some payments. But we're just going to steal the city of Nancy. That's the main goal. Beautiful, and we are actually just going to steal the city. It's only 30,000 pops, but it's 30,000 pops and a city tile. The French won't have 100 ducats, and we'll be on our ways. That's the level of growth we're limited to by being in the Holy Roman Empire. I wish the emperorship is a gilded cage. I wish I wasn't. I would love to leave the empire, in retrospect. Getting elected emperor was the worst mistake I ever made. Okay, so the only way I'm going to beat France is if I can do it economically, build up a large standing army, and get around them that way. So with that kind of idea, in the wonderful city of Luxembourg, we are going to start with tooling rights, because these tooling output rights are going to allow us to basically crank these factories onto high and hopefully just stamp it out like mad. Just like how in Cologne, I'm going to lay down the textile rights. I will revoke the granary rights that they have, as nice as they are, and I need them. I need the money, which I cannot give them because they have Flemish cloth industry. Shoot. Which burger trade capacity, fine cloth guild. Shoot, you'd have to do math to figure out which is better. Okay, well, since I refuse to do math, I will just give them printing rights as well as the Flemish cloth industry. and start building out paper and books. All right, fantastic. I can finally re-ally Castile, which, among everything else, gives me a minor counterbalance to France if I can ever drag them into a hostile war against France. Castile would be willing to join. Wait a second. If I decked war with Castile backing me, we're still slightly weaker. If I could motivate all of the HRE to join, we could probably give the French a really bad day if I had enough prep. Alrighty, time for one of those wars where I really don't know how this is going to go. It's myself, Castile, apparently Dithmarschen, Wolgast, and I believe I'll be able to call in Hungary. Yes, I'll call in Hungary as soon as I get the chance. Against France, we are using the Take Down the Hegemon CB, which makes conquering much cheaper, but unfortunately that goes both ways. So, you know, if I get this wrong, it's really gonna hurt. France is already in hot water. They've went and decked on Saluzzo, which brought in 100,000 troops and 83 other defender countries, so they're already at war with all of this. I'm going to raise one Imperial Circle, I don't know, probably something over here, and open up essentially a war on every front that the French have. We're going in for the 8th, 9th anti-French coalition war. Just really trying to put Pandora back in her box. At a glance, we outnumber the French, though doesn't mean anything. They have 30,000 professionals, which is more professionals than we have all put together. However, they're also at war with, essentially, I would argue France is at war with half of Germany, most of the Low Countries, all of Iberia, and the bigger half of Austria-Hungary. I won't necessarily say the better half. So, hopefully we can leave a mark. Alrighty, now the war is off to a decent start. You can see obviously we're floating a decent amount of war score. I do have to ask if the Castilian idea of just put 100,000 levies in the same tile is necessarily the best, but otherwise, you know, if the French want to come and play with the little fort hellhole that I've cooked up in the Low Countries, let them come. Alrighty, that was one pain in the butt of a war, but it's won. It's only 40% war score, but all I would do if I take more is feed it to other countries that then France could collapse back onto. This is something where I still kind of keep control, and I'm getting essentially most of what would be the lowlands, correct? Yeah, I'm taking back all of the territory that France has in what would be considered Germany, right? Yes, as well as a couple bits of proper France. Castile is getting a fort in the south, so they should be happy, and the next war hopefully move a little bit quicker. And I'm also taking war reps. I might push this a little bit further just to see what I can get away with, but if it looks like I'm losing any ground, I mean, if I could get up to a full 40, what would I even take, or a full 100, what would I even take? I just have to start giving land away, because I can't afford to take more. I'm already walking away with a major coalition. We've actually properly beaten France. Without a doubt, the coalition has triumphed. We've beaten France slightly. We will have to come back and beat them down further, but hopefully this is the start of the good times. No more bad times. We gained, let's see, we go from 1.83 million pops. Apparently I just completed a Tale of Two Cities. Tale of Two Cities, that's considered a hard achievement. Have two cities in the same province where both have their maximum number of urban rights and no urban right is shared between them. I don't know what cities I did that in. Is it St. Nicholas and the city of Ghent? Fortress Town, Granary Town, Studium Privileges, Freetown Charter. Must be. So I just lucked into that, and our population went from 1.83 to 2.6. Holy crud, we just almost stole 1 million pops. We just stole 800,000 pops from France. France is sitting at a clean 10 million. They just got knocked down from 11 million. Oh. Oh, we're like strong now. I see. How is my economy doing? Our wealth just shot up. Our tax base presumably is going to have to shoot up. And France, I will be back for more. I want you to know that. This isn't finished. All that land, and I'm not done yet. I don't want to, like, become an entirely new France, but if I had to eyeball it, I'd say, like, I'd comfortably push into Lorraine, Picardy, Champagne, Ile-de-France is maybe going to my limit. Going along the coast is different, but this is supposed to be a Germany game, and the Francine culture is certainly not quite German. At least I can explain that the Picard are French and Netherlandish, but you know what's my excuse for like the Lorrainese, the Lorraine? Yeah, they're just straight French, and the Champenois are straight French as well. Oh my gosh, we're getting 66 ducats a month from more reps from France. That's insane. Dude, the French economy is supercharged, and I've been fighting it for I don't know how many years. It feels like it's been a long time. Since whenever this video started. That's when since when. Oh, and we're actually economically cool to do whatever we want, more or less. Alrighty, France, so let's go easy on the coalition wars, or else I'm gonna have to put another dent in your skull. Hopefully we're able to get decent control down into this land and start actually doing the economic development that I've been talking about the entire episode, instead of sitting here constantly putting a Frenchman in the grave. Oh, this is a really cool event. The 7 provinces, so this is probably specific to the Low Countries, which means Lithuania is just the Netherlands, but recolored. And essentially, the 7 provinces, we have a choice to either add the 7 provinces gov reform, which gives us plus 5% estate satisfaction equilibrium. 1 free gov reform means it's free itself, plus 1 cabinet seat, which is insane, and 10 plus 0.1 ticking monthly decentralization, which isn't great. Not what I'm doing. I'm very centralized, actually. If I look at my values, I'm 51 towards centralization, which means it really does not do anything. Or I could take decentralization is not a solution for a flat centralization buff. A cabinet member is a cabinet member is a cabinet member, and that means we will be rocking 6 cabinet members only in the Age of Discovery, when we should have about 4. If I was an empire, I guess I could have 7, right? If I was considered an empire, I would get an extra cabinet seat. And if I had access to bureaucracies, I could get up to like 8. But 6 is very comfy. Plus any ones we get future from tech. So, and actually a bit of buttering. We've managed to bring the English on side, which is expensive. We are floating a lot of diplo relations. We've essentially created a coalition with which to counter French expansion. The English, myself, and Castile, with backup from Denmark and Hungary. Oh ho ho. And I don't know if I caught that on the video, but we just caught the thing that's going to allow us to get economically supercharged. That is, 1, we've just gotten paper workshops, which I'm already laying down. Cologne, as I've granted them paper rights and various other things. But also, I believe it should be coming down here, printer shops. Ladies and gentlemen, with printer shops, Cologne will become the market to rule them all. We already are floating a market value of 4,000, which is larger than Paris, a little bit smaller than Genoa, bigger than Constantinople, much bigger than London. So we're already floating a decently valuable market, and by pumping out more bucks, we're just going to make ourselves even more desirable. We truly are going to become the industrial Ruhr Valley. Oh, dang. I wasn't even trying to get there, but apparently we've become the diplomatic hegemon. I'm not paying for my diplomatic spending. I don't know how we managed to pull that off. What does being diplomatic hegemon actually give us? Better improved relations? Sure. Influence country? That's fine. and Diplomatic Corps, which we have the Diplomatic Corps action, which is just more Diplocap and monthly diplomats. That's fine. Alrighty, and with a little bit of prep work, I'm also able to steal away the burghers' land right from the burghers. Really, it's just going to give me more maximum RGO because I've been paving over RGOs, valuable RGOs like iron, just to make, you know, a quick buck. So with this, a lot of our key resources, as you can see under goods, we can lay down another 2 in Luxembourg, and that's just 2 more ducats straight to my pocket. Luxembourg has 17 RGO slots, and that's all thanks to, where is it? The lower Burger Gulf rights, which is giving maximum RGO size plus 100%, which is amazing. Germany, with access to that, seems incredibly powerful. Really strong. Highly recommend. Because Luxembourg is only a town, or no, sorry, it is a city, but it already has 100,000 pops. We could probably take Luxembourg to the moon if we wanted to. I mean, it's nice, it's on a river. Take a little bit of prep work, but that's not unreasonable. Alrighty, here we go. Yet again, another wonderful war against the French menace. This time, they're going in on... Who? Provence. So if I give a month tick, let me just get it over the June. Beautiful. I should have max Diplo rep, so my allies have the biggest chance to join. So I will accept Provence's call to arms. Hopefully my allies don't reject me. Hungary honored it. Savoy, Castile. Who are you? Dithmarschen, of course. Wolgast. Not England? England broke our alliance. That sucks. I thought I buttered you up pretty good. Maybe I never got them to accept. Either way, we'll throw England to improve relations. And with this force, we absolutely should be able to challenge the... Holy fuck, France has so many levies. 200,000 levies, my word. But hopefully we are really able to give them to hurt. And we're able to raise 50,000 ourselves now, so we're no slouch. And gotta beat back the French menace one step at a time. And again, I should be putting up a counter on this one, but I'm so far gone on what coalition we're against France this technically is. I think this is the 10th coalition, but I should be putting up a counter right now to keep track. Ah, oh boy. Yep, that it's that time. We've played that far in. Okay. Well, the here's the Protestant Reformation. How bad is it? Immediate did spawn in our lands? We could embrace it. I've never actually played as a member of the Reformation. On the other hand, normally the Reformation flops really hard. This cannot be a good idea. It will only make people angrier at me. And I'm gonna lose all the things that Catholicism gives me, like the good research speed. And oh, let's do it. Let's have fun. It spawned in our land. Yeah, we'll embrace the Reformation and convert to Lutheranism. This can only go well. We are no longer a part of the Catholic Church. Instead, we are Lutheran. I'm sure that everybody will love and accept this with open arms, but just in case they don't, for whatever reason, I'm going to immediately send my governors out, my cabinet members out, to go and forcefully convert everybody over. Alrighty, to get out of this France war, hopefully this doesn't destroy my relationship with everybody, but I'm just going to wait peace because, I'll be honest, I can't do anything further. And my country is about to experience the Reformation. No, nobody cares. Technically, we won the war, but, And we desperately need more manpower. We'll be back, France, don't you worry. Wait a second, as soon as I peaced out, did Provence leave too? I think they did, and they took plenty more land. They kind of look like a tumor in France now. That's awesome. Yeah, they must have, yeah, you can see the land they just took. Nice. And now, since, the core of the country where we have some of the best control is coming up pretty nice, I'm also going to start urbanizing essentially down again, this is the Moselle River, I believe. And pretty well all of these locations on the way to Cologne, I want to turn into nice cities so I can fill them full of pound block canals so I can push control even better. Because Trier, if I make it a city, is going to go all the way up to having how much? Go from having +5 max control all the way to having +10 max control, which means Trier would be sitting at 95. Then if I give them a local council, they'll go all the way up to like 97. And if I just push it a little bit further, they will end up being almost essentially at 100 all the time. So I can get a really nice pocket of 100s going right here. Now, of course, to do that, I have to make Trier more populated. So we have to... Is there anyone further down the line that I could get started on? Actually, I should have been working on this earlier. Is there any other places near the capital that would be good for cities? Of course, all of the Netherlands is prime for city. Tell you what, this is all towns already. It would only make it more valuable to make it city. There's 60,000 pops here. So let's just start founding cities on the coast. And yes, I did get an alliance with England, but then one of their subjects, I believe, declared independence that was backed by France, so I've ended up back at war again. Because we're just endlessly at war with France. That's the campaign. If we're not dealing with the Protestant Reformation, we're dealing with economy. If we're not dealing with economy, we're dealing with France. Thanks, France. Although the economy is going absolutely insane. We've just shot up to the moon. So, life could be worse. Oh, okay, wait a second. So because I got kicked out of being the emperor, because I switched to Protestantism, thank God, I can now request a kingdom title from Bavaria, who will grant it, no questions asked. So I can stop being the Duchy of Lotharingia and instead be the Kingdom of Lotharingia for 200 ducats. And they granted it. Huge. Huge. More important than that, though, that means that we get access to the kingdom benefits, which include a free local governor, so I can replace the local governor in Cologne. Actually, this stuff is valuable, but it's not missing that much control, and I have a lot more pops near my new French land. Maybe instead of Cologne, I put it down in Arras, like right on the border there. Ooh, that's tough. What do I do? Well, I could move my Antwerp one down to like Ghent, and I'll still get the coverage here that I'm after. And it'll be 2 tiles closer, so hopefully it'll get better control down there. It'd be even better if I could get like another city in Alast or something. And I still haven't built that navy I've been meaning to build. So yeah, we're going to rip the one in Antwerp down and instead lay it down in Ghent, because that's right on the river. It'd be even better if I could use Bruges, but obviously I'd need to take it first. Maybe Brussels wouldn't be a bad administrative city, but then it's kind of pushing too deep inland. And with my new local governor going down in Ghent, hopefully this is able to push control down into Arras, as well as up a little bit. The one in Frisia I don't think is perfect, but it's fine. And this local governor in Cologne will kind of reinforce the whole center of my empire. It'll work out beautifully, and once I clean up this mess on the coast, I can reset how this is all doing. But I honestly don't know how I'm going to start taking chunks out of the Holy Roman Empire without just pissing everybody off. Forming Germany is looking further and further away if I don't change how I'm playing. Interesting, and I finally pushed land far enough. We're over 50%. If I can... Yes, we're 54.92% towards land, which means because I'm not playing the game to be the Emperor of the HRE anymore, I'm actually going to remove my diplomatic traditions, and I will instead replace it with tailored urban rights, which gives us increased burghers growth, monthly development in urban locations, and monthly progress to land. So obviously this is going to be a flat development buff to basically all locations I manage to make into a town. and I have a lot of towns. And that urbanization, once this is implemented correctly, will hopefully just make my provinces better and better and better. Alrighty, so we also have access to religious aspects, of course, because we are Protestant, and the first one I'm going to choose, I believe, is adult baptism. This I'm not going to keep around, it's just going to help convert over the country faster. At some point, I'm probably going to try and implement appointment of bishops, because proximity efficiency is very powerful. Let's see, Crown of Head of Faith is also nice for that crown power, although that kind of falls off. Individual creeds is interesting for the pop assimilation speed. Pietism is really neat to me. Monthly religious influence, max literacy, and innovative anti-communism. Those are all values that I really like. Sola Scriptura. The max literacy is nice. The individualism, I could take it or leave it. Translated Bibles, max literacy plus 10%. State satisfaction, equilibrium, and progress to innovative is also fantastic. And of course, allowing usury is just a nice little economy booster. But obviously, I can only have 3. And adult baptism is a stopgap, but it's also important to actually convert everybody to being the religion, and then we can worry about the finer points of the religion. Oh boy. So, having a minor civil war against the Catholics, I believe. Yeah, this is the Catholic revolt. Oh, you better believe it. We're calling Catholics to go kill Catholics. And yeah, just like that, very, very quick, very, very quick civil war. Nothing too bad, but you know, never fun to do. And how is our conversion going? We're getting to most of the important central stuff. I think this is being done passively, and hopefully we can actually start to spread into the Empire, because being a heretic is going to cause unique issues. This feels like it's rolling around late, but I guess Castile ate Portugal. So in 1519, Castile has discovered the New World. Also, wait a second. Yeah, like, Tunis has pushed Tlemcen over, and Tlemcen has moved over into Morocco. That's gross. Also, not that it's the most important thing in the world, but I've never had Martin Luther as a cabinet member before. I don't think I've done Lutheran religion flip properly. But he's a 50, 40, 100. And I know he's a 100 mil score because that's the score that you use when converting provinces. But it's hilarious to picture that Martin Luther, both for his ability to write, but also for his wonderful ability to be a fantastic general, has 100 mil. That's great. But yeah, congratulations, Mr. Luther. Off to the Reformation with E. For that sweet proximity efficiency, I think I am going to take the appointment of bishops as my second religious aspect. Just because, I mean, proximity is such an important thing. And, like, sure, you know, bishops. But, they'll play nice, I'm sure. Bishops would never do scheming things. And we're just going to do a quick little clean cleanse heresy war into... who even are you? Pays Messen. Hell yeah. Because again, my control area around Luxembourg is only being like 3/4 used. I want this to obviously be in the middle of things as possible. So I gotta kind of push out down towards the, what do you call this? Well, that is the Rhine. I gotta push further south towards the Rhine. You know, I do have to actually take land to grow in power, and just to give you an idea, just taking Luneville, who, mind you, was not the direct person I declared war on, but still, this single location that isn't a town, it's just a rural location, is costing me somewhere in the range of 4 to 6 AE. In some cases, apparently as high as 11, which is a little expensive, but I gotta take land to actually keep growing in power, and these, like, OPMs are just gonna get gobbled up by France if I don't do it. So, I'm sorry to the Holy Roman Empire, but I gotta do her. I gotta do it. Same for you, Tool. You get on in here. Give me your land, give me your money. Just keep on going. Same for you, Sarwarden. Welcome to Lothringia. And, of course, Messerstick. I will almost certainly get a minor coalition off of this. Maybe a bit more than minor. Just taking a peek at that. I probably want to deck into the one I currently have, get rid of it, and then just start looping it, as you do. But I have to get through this, or else I'm never going to be able to form Germany. I'm about a fifth of the way to Germany. So yeah, we're going to have to start ripping and tearing at some point, and I don't know when. And as you can see, most of the country has very comfortably flipped over to being Lutheran. If you look over at the big circle, 81% of the country, which is enough for me to stop forcing everybody over and let the passive ticks do the last little bit. The actuality of Europe, nobody's really joined the Reformation. If I look here, England is teetering on going Anglican, but they've not actually started converting anybody over. Oh, Denmark flipped to Lutheran. That's pretty good. And we get the rights of the burghers. Of course, we're going to curtail the burghers for that sweet, sweet maximum tax against the estate and the centralization and their power. Just all in all, it's a good thing, because the only estate that can actually challenge me now is probably the burghers. Even then, they're under 25%. Wow, we've actually done a really good job of centralizing the nation. That's also because we just have fantastic control throughout the whole nation. Over here, where I have somebody increasing control, we have like 4 provinces of 100 control, and all of those 4 provinces with 100 control have at least 30,000 pops. So I'd say that's a good start for keeping people under our thumb. Obviously, the conquered stuff is yet to be brought to heel. That's awesome. I just saw that the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies has also flipped to being Lutheran. Whether or not that will stay the case, live to see it. But wait a second, France is looking kind of blue too. No, they're still Catholic. They're just dealing with the consequences of it. I see. I wonder if the Hussites will reconcile with the Reformation. I mean, we're essentially doing a similar thing, besides minor doctrinal differences. But you know, where's the fun of a breakaway sect if we don't have infighting? Well, if my last war didn't get me a coalition, this one certainly will. We're also going to do a Cleanse Heresy CB on... Why can I not? Oh, I'm being threatened with a civil war? No. No, I'm not. I'm just going to throw money at you. You're a one province civil war. Just chill out. It's because you're Catholic still, but we're fixing it. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. But we're going to almost certainly get a coalition from the land I take here. I'm going to try and clean up Brabant, clean up Utrecht, and seize the Gelder city of Bruges, because I need that sweet, sweet trade for myself. We should be able just to clean this up really easily, unless somebody buys a concerning amount of mercenaries. It's with a heavy heart that I must say goodbye to Brabant. But they were an ally in the start of the campaign to a stepping block, and now finally it's time for them to get wiped off the face of the earth. I'm obviously going to get quite a lot of antagonism from that coalition, roughly half of Germany, but I want pretty borders, at least prettier borders, and Brabant has been in the middle of my country for far too long. They're also going to give us the lovely city of Leuven. Something like that. If it was a real place, it wouldn't be in Belgium. This tech right here, I don't know exactly how much it's about to gain me money, but my iron output is about to increase by 75%. My economy currently is 1,039 tax base. My wealthiest locations are stuff like Cologne and Luxembourg. Luxembourg is sitting on an iron province. Most of that is coming from an iron-related industry. My entire market relies on the fact I have a massive iron deficit. So, on the month tick, we will go from making having a tax base of 1,040. Well, Luxembourg, holy shit, Luxembourg's number definitely went up. I can't tell you how much. I didn't see what its number was, and I'm imagining Aletna went up too because of iron. Luxembourg is now with a location value of over 100. So whether or not my wealth actively changed, it certainly did. I can't believe I missed whatever that number was. Weird. Either way, number went up, so it is good. Alrighty, beautiful. So from Cologne, we're going to take all of their money, war reps, and of course force them over to Lutheranism because we need some brothers in the faith. Ah, there you go. Alright, it was a little bit delayed. Our tax base, though, has updated, as well as I think our wealth has gone up by about 500. So yeah, I'd say we're doing pretty okay. Either way, while all this fun is going on in the Swamp German land, we're also going to deck on Frisia for Cleanse Heresy. I just want to get rid of the last of these wannabe Englishmen. And it should be as simple as marching into Sleet. Alrighty, well, from the Frisian ally of Saigon, I'm also going to steal 2 pieces of land and all their money. This is starting what I knew eventually was going to happen, where I'm going to be endlessly coalition cycling, because if I don't, the antagonism will grow too fast. Just for example, though, we're currently looking at something like this, which is all of Switzerland and a spotty bits of South Germany. I can handle that. It's once big nations start to form that you can't. I mean, we've seen France consistently take on 2-to-1 odds, and because they're fighting with one unified force, they're able to control it. No reason I can't do the same, and I'm obviously going to fight a lot better. Economically wise, we are economically comparable to France with 1/3 of the population. Now, obviously, our levy is smaller, and our professional army is smaller, although I really don't have an excuse not to build it up anymore if we're doing the same as France. From Frisia, we're going to take everything, all of their money, all of their land. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. We'll have to integrate this, but that's... From Gelders, we are going to seize their capital of Bruges, as well as Den Haag, for reasons you'll understand in a moment, as well as all of their money. This is, again, quite aggressively expansive, but or antagonistic, but it'll be fine. And last but not least, from Utrecht themselves, we will just be taking everything, as well as all of their money. I've not bothered looking at the antagonism because I know it's going to be bad. The Teutons have over 50 antagonism with me. Everything else is manageable. I'm going to target some of the bigger nations, Lower Bavaria, for example. Anybody who can really get over 10,000 troops. But with my alliance block of Castile, Denmark, Bohemia, my defensive alliances, England, if for some reason they wanted to stay allied to me, which apparently we're an on-again, off-again kind of ally, that kind of thing. Oh, and apparently we've also just got the achievement have 200 total building levels in one location, which I've definitely gotten before, so I don't know why I felt the need to point that out. And our country looks better. Still the little things here don't look great, but looks much better. We also now have the it's going to take a month tick to figure out what it's doing with Bruges, because half of our country is one way and half of our country is the other way. Did it figure it out? Wow. Yeah, it figured it out. It chose the wrong way. And don't we just look like a big blue blade on the map? Like somebody I used to know. Alrighty, I also have another idea. I'm going to remove the local governor from Groningen and rebuild it on the month tick, of course, and of course rebuild it in Utrecht. Now, the power of this is much more central to all of my coastal holdings and all of my, what I would call Dutch holdings. As such, if I can get a proper navy out with proper maritime presence, I could just supply the coast, which is really where I'm trying to push control, because that's where all the pops are in this area. Nice and coastal, and a little bit in Belgium. And I could push it really nicely all here, while being supported by the local governor in Cologne to kind of get the inland, and then this governor that I have in, I believe it was Ghent, I could move further south towards something like Orange or possibly even Mons. All in all, it would give me a more even spread, and although, yes, I will probably lose some control up in Groningen, honestly, no, moving across the water is stupid efficient, and it would be one tile, right, from Utrecht to Amsterdam. Amsterdam's a fantastic port, so it would step down really efficiently. And then Zuiderzee, Wadden Sea, Ems Estuary, and Inthogronian. It'll probably have high 60s in local control, if not more. Alrighty, and in another possibly not perfect move, I'm going to deck into my coalition. The main target's going to be Metz. I'm bringing Bohemia in. We should be able to do a little bit of cleanup. This, of course, is going to start a coalition cycle. And once we finish with the coalition, I'm going to turn around and try and hit France's head in again. I'm not sure if I'm going to... what exactly I want off of France, but I just have to make sure I keep them down. Bigger issues, of course, are going to be Savoy. Other than that, it's really just a bunch of tiny stacks that are going to be kind of annoying to get rid of, and a bunch of mercenaries. This is what that mess of a war looks like, by the way. It's just like a thin line of the Holy Roman Empire everywhere from Savoy all the way up to Munster. Alrighty. We spent enough time being the good guy of the Empire. It's time to start becoming a pariah. So we're going to start prying people out of this coalition one by one, starting with the... who are you? The Free City of Waldeck and the City of Corbeck. These guys, I remember, they are sitting on a very valuable gold mine. So we're just going to eat that up. Separate piece, take their land, take their money, send them off. And all of the easy-to-grab cities, easy-to-grab locations that are just sitting on my border, that's essentially what's going to happen to them. And yeah, it's going to give me another big coalition, and I'll deck into that coalition. I'll eat Germany step by step. Same with Arnsberg. We're going to take all of their land and their city and eat them up. From Katzenelbogen, that's such a fun name, we're going to take all of their land and their money and push on. From Mainz, we will take Mainz as well as... you know what? Can I force them to be Lutheran? No. Shame. Alrighty, then I'll just take their money. And no, that's all. We'll just take... and just like that, before we're able to finish up the war, we've made it to the Age of Reformation. So, let's see what focus we're going to take. I think I'm going to go with the admin focus, mostly due to the fact it increases your culture capacity by so much. And we have a couple cultures in Germany we're going to run into, and we're already over our cultural capacity by a minor amount, but as it stacks, it's only going to get worse. So yeah, we'll take the admin focus. I, however, am going to have to pause here. One, because I'm out of time to record, but two, because this war is going to take just a bit. It's a lot of sieging left. The war is won, but and then immediately I have to go and deck in on France too. So it's for the best if I just put all here. So, what have we accomplished as Lotharingia? We had, I don't know how many coalition wars against France. We became the emperor. We lost the emperorship. We converted to Lutheranism. We've grown our economy at an insane rate. We went from like 600 to 1,700 ducats in all of 50 years. But that's the power of Age 3, the Age of Discovery, or Exploration, whichever it's called. We've become certainly a great power. We are in the top 10. We also went from Luxembourg to the Netherlands to Lotharingia. We did a lot. This was eventful. I have so much editing to do with all those French wars. I cannot wait. Otherwise, Lutheranism, the Lutheran faith, Protestantism is doing quite well. We've flipped... oh boy. We have flipped the two Sicilies, Sweden, Denmark, myself, and possibly France. It looks like France might fall. I don't know. As for England, England is Anglican and is in the process of converting slowly. What else do we have going on here? Huss, of course, did very well. In our nation, Walloon has replaced two historical German cultures. I don't know how much further we're going to push the Walloon culture. I don't know, but we'll figure that out as it comes to it. Maybe honestly the Frisians are pissing me off, so we might just make them Walloon. We also at some point became the cultural hegemon due to just throwing down kind of a stupid number of libraries, from what I understand, ahead of China and Korea by about 200 points. as well as the diplomatic hegemon, although we've been passing that back and forth between ourselves, the Ming, the Koreans, and the French. Economically, we are comparable to what you would expect out of Europe. We're actually ahead of France and Bohemia, and then we start to fall behind what's happening in East Asia and the Ottomans, of course. Militarily, we have built up a decent army of 22,000 troops, but again, we fall behind some of the great powers you would expect. And navally, we don't register. Although we are throwing down more heavies, and we might make it onto that list. We currently have 7. We only need 40. It would be possible. Expensive, but possible. Otherwise, the control in the nation is doing very well. The issue with Frisia is due to how unhappy people are and the lack of naval push, but we're working on fixing that. Urbanization, we've essentially turned the Rhineland into one big parking lot, as it was always meant to be. We're also working on expanding out all of these, building from the core outward, although there's a really nice urban density happening here in Flanders. The markets of Cologne are doing incredibly well. This is weird. They keep fighting over who actually controls the Munster and the HRE states, but otherwise we're doing very well with our markets. Yeah, and I believe that about sums up the critical map modes to show. So, thank you very much for your eyes, ears, and time. I have been Baron Dog 2. If you enjoyed the video, go down to the comments. Tell me what you liked about it. While you're down there, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. We're currently at 680 subs. We are trying to get to 1,000 before November, because I think we can do that before the end of the year, just because you guys are all so cool. Have yourselves a fantastic day. This is Brown Dog 2. Signing off.